Hi everyone, I'm Karen from Tailored Holistic Nutrition, and today's topic is about stress. And what is stress? Well, it is a physical response to anything that we feel threatened by. And our body doesn't really know what that threat is, so it just takes every kind of stressor into consideration, and the same process happens in our body chemically and hormonally. And to give you the cold notes on that, when we are when our nervous system gets into fight or flight mode, it sends a signal to our hypothalamus in our brain, telling it to secrete a hormone that triggers the pituitary to release another hormone that sends signals to our adrenals, which are located just on top of both of our kidneys, that produces a lot of other hormones. But for our stress response, it will activate adrenaline and cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone, and what happens to get it going, adrenaline in short bursts, and then cortisol will take over. So then after we've dealt with the stressor, cortisol will send a signal back to the pituitary to stop, and the pituitary sends the signal back to the hypothalamus, and that is called the HPA axis. It's designed for any physical threats, to protect us from danger. And it doesn't know the difference between each kind of stressor. So it could be we're getting chased by a bear, we could be stuck in traffic, we could have a deadline of some project, or we just got yelled at by our boss or a family member, and the body will deal with it in the same way. So finding ways to get us out of that fight or flight mode, which is the sympathetic mode, and into rest and digest mode, parasympathetic mode of the nervous system, the more our bodies will be able to get back to where they should be, get the reserves back, regenerate cells and tissue, and digest what we eat. So today I'm going to give you some good tips on how to lower those stress responses and deal with stress on a daily basis, because some of them we can control, most of them we can't. So the number one thing is to start shifting our perspective. And we actually have the ability to control how we perceive things that happen to us in our life. And it's not always about stress, but it's how we perceive it that triggers that whole HPA axis. So learning to determine whether we need to deal with this stress or let it go will set us up for less chronic stress in our lives. And when we do find that we can remedy this stress or do something about it, it's best to act on it immediately. Nip it in the bud and get it over with, because then we don't have to deal with the anticipation of dealing with the stress, or if it's happening again, it goes on, and then dealing with the actual stressor. So it kind of doubles up our stress factor. Second tip would be to spend some time in nature. The more we can unplug from our busy schedule, our deadlines, our responsibilities, it's a very powerful step to lowering our overall stress levels. And the best part about it is that it's always at our fingertips. We can go in our backyards or at a local park and just get in tune with nature, engaging all of our senses. And this puts you into the present mode. So you're actually experiencing life in the now. And that will suppress our negative memories from the past or our fears for the future. And that leads me into the third tip, mindfulness. And it is a mental state that is achieved by focusing on our awareness of being in the present. And while calmly acknowledging and accepting our feelings, our bodily sensations, and our thoughts, our emotions. And this is actually a therapeutic technique. It also helps you to take things for granted less. And you actually see the little things that accumulate and set you up for more joy in your life. And a couple things you can do is to make the most of time and getting into things that you enjoy. I'm sure you've all been there. You're doing some hobby, and you look at the time, and it's like, whoa, where'd the time go? That is called um, flow. So you can't force flow like you can sleep. It just doesn't take over naturally. So you have to set this up in your life somehow, where you can achieve this and um, make it so that it's challenging enough but not unattainable. And getting feedback, so setting little goals and getting feedback from them to know that you're on the right path. And if it is helping you or hindering you, it's a really good um, way to get rid of the things that don't matter in your life as well. The next one that I've really grown to love and I have implemented in my own life more so over the last little bit is deep breathing exercises. And it actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system, so that rest and digest mode. And this will reduce blood pressure and it slows your heart rate. It loosens your muscles up. It calms your mind. So doing this before eating is a good practice to start doing. And say if you wake up in the middle of the night, really good. It just shuts off your brain. And maybe you have to deal with the stress the next day, and that's why your cortisol levels are probably higher, and not because they're supposed to be lowest at night while you're sleeping. So this is a really good technique, and I'm going to show you how to do it. A good place to start and to just kind of get you doing it properly right off the bat is to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, on your diaphragm, and breathe in for 4 counts. So I'm going to do it here. You can do it along with me if you like. So in, hold for 4, and then exhale for 4. And then hold for 4 again. And then keep repeating that. So if you're doing the deep breathing exercise properly, you'll be using your diaphragm and not your chest. Because when we're stressed, we usually do shallow breaths and we're using our chest more. So your hand on your belly should move more than the one on your chest. And you can implement this any time of day, and it's free. So I can't be a nutritionist without talking about nutrition for your adrenals. And when we are stressed, we are going to pull on all of our reserves, the building blocks for hormones, the building blocks for any chemical message system. So when we're stressed, we can use up more vitamins and minerals than when we're not. And one of the main ones are the B vitamins, and mostly B6. So supplementing with a good B6 complex is a really good idea. Some people have issues with not being able to break down those vitamins, and so getting a methylated form of that supplement is a good idea. They're also found in dark leafy greens, nuts and seeds. There's actually a really good powdered plant-based one called from Pranin that's easily worked into smoothies. Um, and then the other couple vitamins are C and potassium. And then I've mentioned before adaptogens. These do just what their name says. They help your body adapt to stress and get you to recover better from those stressors. Then some good ones are maca, ashwagandha, rhodiola, relora. And I've compiled a little protocol recommendation for these supplements in a link below here, and you can order these professional grade, high quality supplements. You don't have to worry about the ingredients hindering what you're trying to do. And just sign up for an account and ordering the ones that and trying the ones that you think would be right for you, paying attention to any contraindications with medications you're on or health conditions. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm there to help you and guide you. And also, I have a little handy resource for you to download where I give you a checklist, and based on your symptoms, we can determine if you have high cortisol levels or low cortisol levels. The reason you would have low cortisol levels is that you have been having is because you've had high cortisol levels for a long time and your adrenals are fatigued. And there's different approaches for each one, and I offer some suggestions in this little handout. So download that. You'll get signed up for my email list where I'll be able to give you more information along the way and just be able to help you combat stress and live the life you're supposed to.